Good evening. I'm Vijay from Vijayaacademics. I'll be going to give the detailed information about the circular number 30. The subject of the circular is implementation, guidelines for language instruction, and the national curriculum framework for school education 2023 for foundational and preparatory stages. The National Curriculum Framework for School Education (NCF) 2023 developed to realize the main goals of the National Education Policy (NEP 2020). Places renewed emphasis on the use of the home language or mother tongue as the medium of instructions in early education and the structured introduction of additional languages through a multilingual approach. In light of these directives, all the schools are required to adopt and implement the language education provisions for the NCF 2023 from the current academic session 2025-26. Now let us see in detail what all the points are given by the CBSE. The first point they have given is R1R2. Now what is R1R2? The National Curriculum Framework NCF emphasizes that the first language of literacy, that is called as R1, in schools should ideally be the student's mother tongue or a familiar regional state language, as it leverages their existing linguistic, cultural, and cognitive resources, enhancing engagement and literacy effectiveness. If there are practical considerations such as classroom diversity or resource limitations or the oral traditions lacking written forms, R1 may shift to the state language, which would be a familiar language. R1 must serve as a medium of instruction until the fundamental literacy in another language is achieved. For details regarding R1 and R2, please refer to page number 239. Next, they have given us foundational stage, that is pre-primary to grade 2, age 3 to 8. Language, uh, languages to be taught R1 and R2. Medium of instruction. At the foundational stage, children begin formal education in a linguistic environment that must feel natural, nurturing, and culturally rooted. As per NCFSE 2023, the primary language of learning and the medium of instruction, that is MOI, must be child's home language, mother tongue, as a familiar regional language. As for the NCFSE 23, Part C, R1 should preferably to be the language most familiar with students, which would be the mother tongue. If that is not possible because of the practical consideration, then it should be the state language, which would be familiar language. Also, since it is R1 that literacy is first attained, it must be used the medium of instruction, that is MOI. For other subjects, at least until literacy is another language is attained. Further, in the foundational stage, developing foundational literacy and numeracy finds adequate emphasis. The focus is on building familiarity of students with two spoken languages, that is R1 and R2. At the end of the stage, students are expected to read fluently in R1 and comprehend what they read and begin writing sentences in R1 to express experiences, themes, and what they see in pictures. Thus, achieving foundational literacy in R1, this is the crucial to ensuring meaningful engagement and cognitive development in the early years, and all schools are required to implement it. Now, next point is learning outcomes. The learning outcomes expected at this stage are predominantly oral and experiential. Children should develop listening comprehension, oral fluency, vocabulary, phonic awareness, and an emergent understanding of symbols and print. Formal reading and writing are introduced, beginning with recognition of letters and basic word formation in R1. Next point is pedagogy and learning resources. For Balvatika stage, for play-based and activity-oriented pedagogy, schools can use Jadui Pitara and E-Jadui Pitara, available in various Indian languages. For classes 1 and 2, NCERT has published textbooks which are available in printed form in Hindi. Urdu, and English. The textbooks are available in the digital form in other languages as well. At this is the address given http://ncert.nic.in textbooks.php. These resources may be utilized keeping in view the guidance provided by NCERT regarding the transaction of these resources in the classrooms. If required, a reference may be made also the recommendation contained in NCFSE. Next stage is preparatory stage, that is grades 3rd to 5th. Age limit is 8 to 11. Now here the medium of instruction is in the preparatory stage. Students may continue to learn in R1, which could be the preferred medium of instruction for all the subjects. Since it is in R1 that literacy is first attained, it must be used the medium of instruction, that is MOI, for another subject, at least until literacy is another language is attained. Accordingly, an option may be given to study in medium other than R1 to those who are interested in studying through R2, depending on whether the foundational literacy in R2 has been attained. Option of medium of instruction, NCFSC in section 1.6.1 recommends that at least one language native to India will be offered as an option for the medium of instruction to all the students up to grade 12. Schools are accordingly required to provide this option in all the classes starting with the preparatory stage if the primary MOI is not such language as its native to India. Competencies R1. At the preparatory stage, learners are expected to develop oral language skills using complex sentences structures to communicate ideas clearly and meaningfully in various contexts. They engage in fluent conversations, summarize key ideas from oral text, and participate in oral presentations such as storytelling, anchoring, and short speeches. Reading comprehension skills are strengthened as students learn to apply strategies like predicting, inferring, and visualizing to understand prose and poetry, extract main ideas, and draw conclusions. Writing skills progress from forming simple and compound sentences to composing coherent paragraphs that express their understanding and creativity. Learners are encouraged to create various text types such as poems, dialogues, and posters using appropriate grammar and structure. Vocabulary development is fostered through discussion and exposure to diverse text, enhancing their expressive and receptive language abilities. Additionally, students are guided to develop reading habits and preferred by regularly borrowing books from the library and engaging with them at home, thereby nurturing a lifelong interest in reading. Next is R2. At the preparatory stage, learners are expected to build strong communication skills that support effective day-to-day interactions and oral expression. They listen attentively to stories, meaningful conversations, and group discussions. Their oral language abilities are further enhanced through structured opportunities for presentations and collaborative dialogues. Reading fluency and comprehension develop simultaneously as students strengthen phonological awareness by blending and segmenting sounds. Recognize such structure, punctuation, and sentence pattern, and read various text accurately and expressively. They also begin to derive meaning from what they read, stories, poems, and the story posters, and demonstrate an active interest in independently exploring children's literature. In writing, learners began to express their thoughts, feelings, and expressions through short paragraphs, simple posters, invitations, and instructional texts. They also explore creative writing by composing stories, poems, and dialogues. Vocabulary enrichment is integrated across all these domains as children engage with a range of text across subjects, discussing and understanding new words in a meaningful context to expand their expressive capabilities. Pedagogy. Pedagogically, schools should adopt multilingual classroom strategies. Teacher may use translation comparison of vocabulary and expression across R1 and R2, and simple language games to promote engagement. Exposure to rich literacy resources in both languages should be encouraged. Learning resources. Schools should refer to the NCERT books which are available at the address given. You can refer these NCERT books. Relaxation to children with special needs. Clause 17 in Chapter 3, Education in the Right of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016 stipulates that appropriate authority shall make suitable modifications in the curriculum and the examination system to meet the needs of the students with disabilities, such and as extra time for completion of examination papers, facility to scribe, or amenities, exceptions, exemption from second and the third language courses, implementation timeline and action plan to ensure uniform and the effective implementation. All schools must constitute an NCF implementation committee by the end of May 2025. This committee will be responsible for mapping students' mother tongue, aligning language resources, and guiding curriculum adjustment. The mapping of learners' linguistic backgrounds must be completed at the earliest. By the end of the summer break, schools should achieve a realignment of the curriculum and teaching materials to reflect the use of R1 as MOI, and to ensure structured introduction of R2 at appropriate stage. Teacher orientation and training workshops should be also be completed before the implementation begins, focusing on multilingual pedagogy, classroom strategies, and the language sensitive assessment. Implementation may commence from July 2025. Schools requiring time to transition from procurement of resources, teacher reallocation, or curriculum realignment may avail of some additional time. However, care may be taken that the implementation is not in orientally ordinately delayed. Monthly progress reports must be submitted at the link. The link is given here. You are going to submit your monthly report by 5th of each month starting July 2025. You are going to start this in the month of July, and you are going to give the monthly report by the 5th of each of the month. Schools may also be visited by academic observers for support and guidance. The multilingual vision of NCF 2023 is grounded in equity, inclusion, and cognitive empowerment. A child learns based in language they understand and feel secure in. As schools, we must preserve this linguistic dignity while ensuring every learner has access to additional languages in a phased and meaningful manner. This is not just a circular shift, it is a pedagogical commitment to India's linguistic and cultural diversity and unity. This is all about the circular which is related to uh, the languages. Implementation guidelines for language instruction. Thank you. Thanks a lot.